Welcome back to my channel. It's Patrick BlackRock, and today what I'm going to be doing is comparing the Philippines and Cambodia when it comes to dating. And if you are looking to or you are interested in dating in Southeast Asia, which country matches your expectation and your interest better, and which country should you seek your romantic partnership or your romantic interest if you're looking in terms of dating. So I prepared my notes. I lived in the I've been for, let me just say this, preface this. I've been living in Cambodia for a month and a half now, and I've dated in Cambodia. For the Philippines, I've been going to the Philippines since 2019, and then I wasn't there during the pandemic. Then I went back during the after the pandemic, which was last year, then this year again. So I've been in Manila, Makati, Kansas City, Boracay, Cebu City twice, and then Davao City, Daegu City, General Santos City. For Cambodia, I've been to Phnom Penh and Siem Reap, and so I've lived the experiences that I'm going to be talking about from a black man's perspective, a black man that was originally born and raised in Nigeria till the age of 19, then went to the United States, went to school in the United States, live in the UK. So I have a broad sense of dating in Africa, dating in the Western world, be it the United States, the United Kingdom, and the rest of Europe and Asia. So I have a great understanding of cultural dynamics when it comes to dating. So I want to talk about 10 things. Number one will be cultural influences on dating, social dynamics and approach. I want to talk about language and communication. I want to talk about dating etiquette and customs. Then online dating and culture. Number 6, I want to talk about perceptions of foreigners. Number 7, I want to talk about romantic destinations. And number 8, I want to talk about dating challenges and success stories. And number 9, I want to talk about gender roles in dating. And 10, I want to give you tips for dating in each country based off of my own experience. So number 1, let's talk about how cultural differences shape dating in Cambodia and the Philippines. I want to highlight traditional values, societal expectations, and the impact of relationships when it comes to dating. So for Cambodia, I believe if you truly want to understand a people, you need to understand their religious beliefs. And Cambodia is a Buddhist country. By over 90% of Cambodia, actually 97% of Cambodians are Buddhists, whereas in the Philippines, they are mostly Catholics, Roman Catholics. Remember, Cambodia adopted the Hindu religion, and then by the 17th century, they switched to, or the 17th century, they switched to the Buddhist tradition. The Buddhist religion. Both religions came from India. So Cambodia is way more conservative than the Philippines. Traditional gender roles and family expectation, this still plays a huge role in societal expectation in Cambodia. Family in Cambodia is everything, and that will be the nuclear family. That will be the husband, wife, and children. This is everything for Cambodians. Whereas in the Philippines, is usually the extended family. That is the girl's father, her mother, her siblings, her cousins, her aunts, uncles, grandmothers, grandfathers. Those are her most the core of her family values. So if you want to be in a successful relationship with a Filipina, those are the ones that you want to please. So those are the ones that you want to meet and make sure that you have some sort of understanding when it comes to what role that you're going to be playing, or else they will do everything possible to sabotage that relationship. And most of the time, majority of the time, the girl will side with her own family over you. Even when you're married to her, you've been married to her and you have a child with her. Versus Cambodia, it's usually the nuclear family. So if you're married to a Khmer girl or a Cambodian girl and you treat her well, you have a family with her, that will be her main focus. Not that she's going to abandon her extended family. However, the interference will be at a minimum. So I want to talk about Cambodia still practices arranged marriage. It is a tradition that has ran in Cambodia for centuries. It is the norm. It's practiced by Cambodians both home and abroad. Even when Cambodians are overseas, they still, to a certain degree, practice arranged marriages. Whereas in the Philippines, yes, there's still arranged marriages, but that's not really the norm. The girl still have, I want to word this carefully, she can still go out and be courted by a guy or a boy, and if she likes, she makes, not that the Cambodian girl doesn't make that decision. However, the Filipina kind of picks her mate in that sense. The Cambodian girl still picks her mate. However, if the family arranges something, she will acquiesce to it. She will go along with it. All right. So family for Cambodians are considered to be foundation of, it is the foundation for everything. The nuclear family, that is the core of the domestic unit. They still have a strong sense and attachment to members of their extended family, close neighbors, and friends. However, her core family is her number one objective. So let me talk about cultural taboos, because you don't want to do this in Cambodia. That can cost you a good girl. Avoid disrespecting Buddhist statues or iconographs. It's very important to them. Cambodians' religion is very important to Cambodians. Although Cambodians tend to be forgiven when it's like unintentionally done. If they know that you're intentionally doing it or trying to be slick, you'll hear from them. They don't take that very likely. When you first meet a Cambodian girl or Khmer girl, they might not ask for your name or tell you their name. They do this because of, it's the cultural thing. So if the girl doesn't ask for your name, doesn't think she's being disrespectful or she's not interested. Whereas in the Philippines, you meet a girl, whether it's online or in person, she's already asking you everything. She wants to know everything about you, your name, your age, where you're from, what you're doing in the Philippines, the whole 9 yards. Let me switch gears here and talk about social dynamics and approach. I want to do this comparison for the social dynamics of dating in both countries. The way Cambodians approach dating is much conservative, and the way they initiate relationships and the role of the family and the community in the whole process. So as I said before, the nuclear family is more important to the Khmer people, whereas the extended family is more important to Filipinos or the Filipino people. When it comes to dating, Filipinos like to be courted. This can be done in terms of asking her out on a formal date, take her to light dinner, take her to a show, to a movie, a bowling. They love to sing karaoke, take her to a KTV place. That is part of the courting process. And then gift giving, not just to her, but to her extended family members as well. For Cambodians, they like courting in the sense of you ask a girl out, you take her on a date, gift giving, usually towards her and her alone. It doesn't involve, if you want to give extended members of her family gifts, that's okay, but that's not the expectation. Whereas in the Philippines, that is an expectation. So you initiate always in Cambodia, men are expected to initiate and pursue and be more confident and be more direct. Whereas the females are they're expected to be nurturing, even if she's not interested in you, she still have to be respectful, nurturing, and turn it down gracefully. In the Philippines, the females traditionally are expected to be courted. Now, with the influence of America, Filipinos are not afraid to ask a guy or ask a man out on a formal date, or present herself and put herself in proximity where the man will have to ask her out on a date and make her romantic interest known to the man. Whereas in Cambodia, her culture doesn't allow her to or profess her romantic interest towards a man. As a man, you have to pursue her and show her that you are a good man who was very genuinely interested in her, and that you have the ability to actually take care of her. So, and they are very, very feminine. Filipinos are feminine. In Cambodia, it's even much more. In the Cambodian history, the Khmer Empire, women held strong roles. But in the contemporary Cambodia, women are kind of viewed as inferior, not just physically, but mentally as well. And the females, they expect a man to lead. For my own experiences dating Khmer girls, whatever plan I made, they follow it to a T. They don't ask me any question. They don't try to object. They don't push back. They follow it to a T. In the Philippines, yes, the Filipinas have followed my plan, but there's always been pushbacks. She will try to see if I can go her route, or she will try to have an input. And I believe that is part of the U.S. influence. Let's talk about language and communication. For the Philippines, they speak English largely in major big cities like Manila, Cebu, Davao, even all the way to Digos, General Santos. In Mindanao, they will speak English, they will speak Bisaya, and they will speak Tagalog. In Luzon, which is where Manila is, they will speak mostly English and Tagalog. So if you are English speaking, don't worry, you will be communicating with Filipinos with ease. For Cambodia, that is a completely different story. The Khmer people, majority of them do not speak like English in a proficient manner where you can sit and communicate with them. And this is for big cities like Phnom Penh and Siem Reap. Spend extensive time here in Phnom Penh and Siem Reap, even though they have huge, not huge in terms of how many countries like Thailand is getting there. Quite have a lot of tourists here coming here. However, they still do not speak that much English where you could sit down and just have a full conversation without having to repeat yourself or ask how to clarify what she was talking about. So there's a huge language barrier for Khmer people. I always stress this. You have to be patient when you're communicating with Khmer girls. Explain what you're saying. Don't be afraid to pull out your phone and use Google Translate. There's no shame in that, and they do really appreciate it. Dating etiquette and customs. So this topic I want to talk about, the Philippines could still be viewed as a traditional country, and this also applies to dating. So the Philippines has a long Spanish history and Catholic ancestry. In the Philippines, courting and courtship are still prevalent even today. This is called panaliliga or liga in Tagalog. So if you are looking you find a beautiful Filipina that you like, courting is the way to go, especially when you start going outside the main cities to the provinces. However, if you are in the big city, the large U.S. cultural influence has made it that Filipinos they now accept the Western standards of dating. And there are a lot of dating apps in the Philippines now where you can meet Filipinos. Online dating has become more popular in the Philippines, like Tinder, Bumble, and then you have the Filipino-based ones like Filipina Cupid, Filipina Kisses, Pina Love. Just be careful because there are a lot of scams, romantic scams in the Philippines. As mentioned, the Philippines, with its rich Spanish heritage, places an emphasis on romance, just like Spain, Cuba, or Argentina. Why I wish you the best of luck when you're dating in the Philippines. Just bear in mind, if she's asking you for request for financial assistance, she got some type of sob story, long periods of disconnection, and being unable to connect with you, that's just the whirlwind. Delete. Trust me, don't even pursue it or trying to make it make sense. Making commitments online before actually meeting you, that's a scam. Even though the Filipino government is fighting actively to combat these scams, it's still a big issue, especially after the pandemic. It's even become more and more prevalent now. For Cambodia, Cambodian or Khmer girls like their man or a man that is showing romantic interest in them to dress good. They would like the man to look good. They like a man with good hygiene. Even though in the Philippines, sometimes, no disrespect, because I love Filipino people, it seems like they just anything goes. Like the Filipinos, not all of them, but a sizable handful of them will accept almost anything, any dude coming from the West. That is not true in Cambodia, which I like about Cambodian girls. They like a good-looking man. Your looks, not really, they don't trip about things like height. However, they still like a man that is in shape, a muscular guy, a guy that is, it's not fat, obese, or a guy that, even though a guy, if you're big, you have like what I call solid weight, you can move around, you're not like a slob, dragging yourself all over the place. They like their men to look attractive. When it comes to the complexion of your skin, they don't trip about that. Remember, this is a Buddhist country, and the French were here. However, they didn't like kick in their sidekick, that racism that usually comes with colonialism. Trip tips I would give dating a Cambodian girl. I would say respect her family, inquire about her family, buy her gifts. When dating a Cambodian girl, you must up your game by buying thoughtful gifts. They can be picky at times, so buy her a gift that have some meaning. Teach her English, practice English with her. Majority of them do not speak English, so teach her English, and which is why some people have this misconception, or Khmer girls have this stereotype that they don't like foreigners. It's not that they don't like foreigners. They don't know what to say to a foreigner. And since they prefer the man to take the active role, when you approach them, you start talking in English, they get timid. They don't know what to say. Whereas in the Philippines, the girls, they speak somewhat good English where you could communicate with them effectively. Yes, still Filipinas are shy. Majority of them are shy. If you know anything about the Philippines, you know that gossip is the pastime sport in the Philippines. They love to gossip. Not just any kind of gossip. I'm talking about character destroying gossip. So most of the girls, they do not want to be gossiped about. If you see her on the street and you stop to talk to her, you notice that she'll start looking around to see how many people, how many eyeballs are on her. So sometimes I try to talk to Filipinas, and they will be showing interest. They will giggle and run away. And unless they see me a couple of times, it takes time. So it's not as easy as some people try to make it be, that you can easily approach Filipinos on the street. That's not true. Take it from me. You cannot just approach them on the street, and not majority of them. Some of them, yes, you could approach, you talk, and try to, if you like the girl, try to get her to, or take her to a coffee shop, a cafe nearby, because they don't want to be gossiped about. Whereas for Khmer girls, your only barrier is going to be that English language. They don't worry about people gossiping about them, because Khmer people, they really don't do the gossip thing. People still talk, just like it's human nature. It doesn't matter where you are, people still talk, but it's not at the level of destructiveness that it is in the Philippines. Throwing money around to Cambodians is heavily frowned upon, even though they are poor. They still retain some form of self-respect. So throwing money in their faces shows them that you do not think they are worthy of that respect, and they will demand that respect. Trust me. Talking down on a girl, they don't like to be talked down upon. I've seen a couple of Western guys do that here. And Khmer girls, they are very, I would say timid, respectful. They're patient. They're not quick to anger or quick to temper like Western women are. So they still frown heavily upon that. Being affectionate in public is frowned upon in Cambodia. They don't like kissing. You can hold hands. There's nothing wrong with that. But kissing and touching is heavily frowned upon. Even in the Philippines, you could still do the kissing if you're like in BGC, Manila, Cebu City. Outside of that, public affection in public is frowned upon. online dating culture. There's, like I said before, it's heavily for the Philippines. There's heavy Filipino presence online in dating apps. There's different dating apps for different, depending on what you're looking for. Even with Tinder, hookup culture is now where and alive in the Philippines, and that goes with the presence of Tinder. For Cambodia, not too many girls or Khmer girls are online. To meet a good Khmer girl, you have to be here in person, and for her to really have her fully, you have to demonstrate to her that you can give her a family, that you are really serious about her. For the Philippines, you have to demonstrate to her that you take our family seriously. Filipinos or Filipino people spend time with family, doing family bonding, meeting extended family members. They take their families very seriously. Perception on foreigners. Filipinos are very used to foreigners. They are intrigued by foreigners, especially foreigners from Western countries. They want to get to know them. They want to meet them. They are very familiar with foreigners like the United States, Canada, and some countries in Europe, including other Asian countries like Japan and Korea with K-drama, K-pop. Filipinos are quite familiar with other cultures. In Cambodia, majority of the girls that I've interacted with in Cambodia don't even know popular names like Michael Jackson. And remember, Cambodia was shut off from the world for so long. So when it comes to foreigners, they don't see foreigners as bad. They just haven't been opened up. So they are judging you based on you. So if you are here, represent your country very well. Because Cambodians are they are good people. All right. So if you probably be the first foreigner she's meeting. So please represent whichever country you're coming from very well. She's judging. She has no preconceived notions about your country. She's judging you based on you. Whereas in the Philippines, sometimes they act like they know about your country better than you know your own countries. And I have experienced that several times. Filipinos acting like they know the United States more than I do. And they never left the Philippines. Dating challenges and success, my success stories. For the Filipinos, these days, I tend to stay offline because there's just too many scams going on. Of majority of the girls that I met on Pinalove at some point asked me for money, asked for some money. I've been in Cambodia for a month and a half now. I've dated few Cambodian Khmer girls, and every single one of them I've never had, be it online or in person, have any of them asked me for money at any point. Gender roles, Cambodia is still very traditional. They want their men to be masculine and be dominant and be aggressive, but not the type of like Western aggressiveness where you're displaying aggression towards other people. Aggressiveness means being confident, being assertive, being decisive, not asking her what she wants to do, but actually taking the lead, making the decision. She wants her man to be a man. Whereas in the Philippines, if you are outside the provinces, they expect to be almost like a modern woman and have some input in the Philippines. The girls these days, Filipinas, wants to have more input. She wants to have more of a say-so. In the provinces, they still value and cherish that traditional roles. So for me, I experienced it. For Cambodian girls that I dated, they like those traditional roles, and I love it. My tips for dating in Cambodia is be in Cambodia, be patient, go to places like the palace, walk around those areas, night market, central market. That's where you find most Cambodian girls. Those places have really good Cambodian girls, and don't be afraid to pull out your translator. For the Philippines, be in the Philippines, go outside to the malls. That's where you usually meet a lot of Filipinos. Will be at the malls, interact with them, know that they are shy and timid. So don't expect them to just, they see you, they run to you. You have to show that you are there for a longer time, because Filipinos don't want to be seen as jumping from one man to another, because they are afraid of those gossips. For Cambodian girls or Cambodian women, they want to see a man that can demonstrate that he is genuinely interested in her. However, don't show too much affection towards a Cambodian girl, or you might scare her away. That's that. Leave a comment. Have you dated in Cambodia? What was your experience like? Thanks. Goodbye. If you like that video and you want to watch others like it, click right here. To understand the tenements of this channel, click right here. This channel is viewer supported. Consider donating. Live your new dream.